evening and welcome to Biz RoundUp. I'm Chamal Fernando and we at our television bring you a collection of business highlights. Let's have a look at the headlines. Government allows the import of electric and hybrid vehicles for tourism purposes. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri meets with top members of the Romanian government. Palm Oil Association urges government to consider real facts in lifting the palm oil ban. Now the news in detail. The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, in partnership with the Tourism Ministry and 4 key agencies, signed a historic memorandum of understanding on Monday. The MOUs were signed between the SLTDA and the Central Cultural Fund and Coast Conservation Department and Health Ministry and the Department of Wildlife Conservation. This collaboration aims to boost the overall experience for visitors, ensuring a better travel experience while fostering sustainable industry growth.
A total of 113 million rupees has been allocated by the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority for key initiatives. The funds are distributed as follows: 80 million rupees for the Health Ministry, 22.5 million rupees for the CCF and DWC, and 1.5 million rupees for the CCD. Key initiatives outlined in the MOUs include developing specialized paying wards in government hospitals, providing electric buggies for tourist transportation in Sigiriya, upgrading sanitary and shower facilities in coastal areas and key attractions like Yala and Houghton Plains, with plans to extend these upgrades to other tourism regions in the future. Speaking at the event, Tourism Minister Harin Fernando expressed confidence in achieving 2.3 million tourist arrivals by the end of the year. SLTDA Chairman Priyantha Fernando stressed the importance of improving visitor facilities, announcing that from 2025 onwards, the authority would increase provisions for similar collaborative projects.
During the event, the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority also issued the first 10 approvals for travel and tourism companies to import electric and hybrid vehicles to accommodate the growing number of tourists visiting Sri Lanka. These approvals were handed over by Tourism Minister Harin Fernando on the sidelines of a special event.
The companies receiving the first batch of approvals include Lanka Sports Raisen, Karuzan Travels, Jungle Beach Resort, Colombo Courtyard, Tangerine Tours, Cape Valigama, Siddhalepa Ayurveda Health Resort, Esna Holdings, Jetwing Travels and Barberine Ayurveda Resorts. The Cabinet of Ministers approved the importation of 1,000 electric and hybrid vehicles for the tourism sector earlier this year. This decision allows for the import of 750 vans with a seating capacity of 6 to 15 people and 250 buses, including small buses with 16 to 30 seats and large buses with 30 to 45 seats without special tax relief. Speaking at the event, the minister announced that around 25 approvals have already been made for a total of 110 vehicles to be imported, with plans to hand over 100 such approvals from this week onwards.
Speaking at the press conference held after the event, Tourism Minister Harin Fernando said that the new tourism policy, which will be presented to Cabinet soon, which will be able to liberate the tourism industry by recognizing the various institutions operating within it.
President met all the stakeholders at President Secretariat on Saturday at 5 o'clock, and he was very clear of setting up an interministerial force, because all these other ministries take over the tourism industry's key activities. So therefore he said, with the new tourism policy, a lot of these things will change, and we are hoping after his re-election, a lot will change. At cabinet level, which is where you can change a lot of decisions, there was a committee appointed consisting of 11 members from all stakeholders and also the private sector as well. I think there are more than 3 members who are representing associations who are directly involved in this project. They have already finalized the report. So this report is about to be presented to Cabinet. With the support of ADB and President, there's a new tourism policy which is already coming to Cabinet, I think today or next week. It's a very comprehensive document It has cut through a lot of red tape. I think this will liberate the tourism industry where we work in a very different strategy. Convention Bureau and Promotion Bureau becomes one, whereas I'm just giving you a nutshell of it, and the legislative or the regulatory body remains the same, and the hotel school or the training will be different.
Sri Lanka's inflation, as measured by the National Consumer Price Index, gained pace in June, reaching 2.4% year-over-year, up from 1.6% in May. This increase is largely attributed to rising food prices, which have been affected by weather-related disruptions to crops.
In monthly terms, prices edged up by 0.9% between May and June, reversing the negative 0.9% change seen between April and May. Specifically, food prices climbed by 2.4% in June on a month-on-month basis, turning from a negative 1.6% in May. On an annual basis, food prices rose by 1.9%, accelerating from the 0.5% increase in May. Non-food prices also rose by 2.7% in June from a year ago, picking up from 2.4% in May. Despite this, monthly prices for non-food items declined by 0.4%, slightly higher than the 0.3% decline in May. Meanwhile, core prices, which exclude the often volatile food, energy and transport sectors, reported a 3.9% increase in June, up from 3.1% in May.
Stay tuned, we will return after this commercial break. Welcome back. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri concluded a successful official visit to Romania at the invitation of Romanian Minister of Foreign Affairs Luminița Ordobesu recently. The bilateral talks aim to further enhance the partnership, especially in the context of Romania as a member of the European Union.
During the discussions, Minister Sabri outlined Sri Lanka's recent developments, focusing on economic stabilization and growth, as well as the progress made and ongoing reconciliation endeavors. Minister Ordobesu highlighted the development drive in Romania and the potential for mutually reinforcing engagement with third countries. Both parties identified several areas for bilateral cooperation, including ports, shipping and logistics, cybersecurity, education, ICT, technical assistance for strengthening anti-corruption initiatives, and capacity building in disaster risk reduction and civil protection. A special focus was given to streamlining and regulating foreign employment opportunities for Sri Lankans in Romania. The discussions included avenues for establishing a government-to-government mechanism for sending semi-skilled and skilled employees to Romania.
During his official visit to Romania, Foreign Minister Ali Sabri also paid a courtesy call on Romanian Prime Minister Ion Marshal Sioleșu at the Victorian Palace in Bucharest. During the call, Minister Sabri briefed Prime Minister Sioleșu on the current economic situation in Sri Lanka, highlighting efforts towards economic recovery and stability.
The discussion primarily focused on synergies for strengthening economic cooperation. The Romanian Prime Minister acknowledged the significant contributions of the Sri Lankan workforce in Romania, recognizing their role in various sectors and mutual benefits derived from this cooperation. He noted the potential for further enhancing workforce mobility between the two countries. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri was joined at the discussions by Sri Lanka's ambassador to Romania, senior officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Bucharest.
Minister of Trade, Commerce and Food Security Nalin Fernando announced plans to amend the Consumer Act with proposals expected to be submitted to Parliament soon. Minister Nalin Fernando said this speaking at a news conference held at the Presidential Media Center recently.
During the briefing, Minister Fernando highlighted that various programs and concessions implemented over the past 2 years have played a crucial role in controlling inflation and increasing people's incomes. Minister Fernando also proposed amendments to the Consumer Act aiming to enhance transparency and fairness in the market, promoting better understanding between consumers and traders. He explained that the government currently announces the prices of 15 essential items on a weekly basis, but has observed that the consumers are not benefiting from the provided concessions. The minister warned that if the business community does not comply, price controls may be enforced on certain goods to ensure that concessions reach consumers.
Stay tuned, we will return after this commercial break. Welcome back. The Sri Lanka Agripreneurs Forum, in collaboration with the USAID through its Catalyze Sri Lanka Private Sector Development activity, hosted a successful accelerator demo day in Colombo recently. The event showcased the innovative spirit and entrepreneurial drive of individuals passionate about agriculture and innovation, attracting 60 leading investors, funding agencies and companies.
The highlight of the demo day was the pitch competition, where 10 finalists presented their business ideas to potential investors and agribusiness enthusiasts. These finalists had undergone extensive training through boot camps guided by expert mentors in the industry, supported by continuous guidance from the Sri Lanka Agripreneurs Forum. Deputy Director of the Office of Economic Growth of USAID for Sri Lanka and Maldives, Dennis Wessner, awarded the top 3 winners at the conclusion of the competition. These winners demonstrated exceptional potential and creativity in the agribusiness ventures, showcasing the transformative power of innovation in agriculture. They will receive personalized mentorship from the SLAF expert mentor pool and connect with funding opportunities to further develop their ventures.
Sri Lanka's Palm Oil Industry Association urged the government to make evidence-based decision regarding the ongoing delay in lifting the ban on palm oil and allow the small-scale cultivations in specified areas. The Palm Oil Industry Association made this call at a special press conference held in Colombo recently.
Palm Oil Industry Association President Dr. Rohan Fernando highlighted the substantial socio-economic benefits of palm oil, particularly in alleviating poverty among the smallholder farmers by capitalizing the 40% Asian supply to meet the global demand. He also cited the successful models adopted by Malaysia and Indonesia, which share a combined 15 million hectares of land for palm oil cultivation and effectively reap the benefits of the plantation. The ban on palm oil imposed in April 2021 aimed to promote the consumption of coconut oil based on the misconception that oil palm plantations have a higher water footprint and impacts the output of other crops nearby. According to the association, the current oil palm cultivation in Sri Lanka occupies a land space of 12,000 hectares. Moreover, Sri Lanka consumes 220,000 metric tons of palm oil, of which only 12% is produced locally.
However, bureaucratic issues has remained, and we in the Palm Oil Industry Association is very confident that people will see the light of day, they will open their eyes, and that this ban will be a thing of the past.
Speaking at the event, Opposition Member of Parliament Dr. Harshidi Silva said that Sri Lanka has not been able to promote exports as much as some of the neighboring countries because of the major focus has been on import substitution over the years. He said pure economics, what matters is the promotion of exports, since ultimately what matters is the balance of payments.
Import substituted. This is a word that I don't necessarily appreciate, import substitution. My thinking is export promotion. You know, some countries will have to import something, some countries will have to export some things. And it is all dependent on each country's comparative advantage. Sri Lanka exported $3.5 billion. Vietnam exported $3.5 billion. Bangladesh exported $3.5 billion. And that is when the apparel story was beginning, after the 200 garment factories had started, not finished. Last year we exported something like $12 billion, in goods. Bangladesh exported something like $80 billion of goods, and Vietnam exported something like $385 billion. What happened to us, right? A lot of what happened to us is contained in those two words, import substitution. People sometimes believe that if you don't spend in imports, that it is a saving that we can use. Fine, but you are trying to save for 20 million people. The market out there is in the billions. If you look at just pure economics, what you need to focus on is export promotion rather than import substitution.
With that, we wind up for today. For this and more, subscribe our channel on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. See you tomorrow with the State of Business at 7:45 p.m. Take care and good night.